Hey guys, PaunaeHD here. Today we're going to start putting together my computer after a complete disassemble. I didn't record the disassembly because I wasn't sure what I was going to run into. I didn't want to show any kind of destruction of my parts. But what we have here is the Cooler Master Storm Striker. It is a really awesome case, and it really isn't being shown any justice sitting here in this naked version. What I have is both side panels are removed and all the basic wiring is already routed into place. The power supply is already bolted in, as you can see here. Went with a 750 watt power supply, but it is a cheaper model and there's some side consequences that came with that. But for $22, I'll deal with a couple extra hiccups and headaches. This computer comes with a standard 230 mil fan in the top, 120 in the back, two 120s on the side, and room for more. This case is also set up and ready for all and any water cooling, whether it be custom or factory filled kits. And I'm really looking forward to putting this together. For our parts list, we'll just go from the top. We have an Asus DVD drive, keep pretty standard, about $20. We have 8 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM, DDR3, along with one set of 2 gigabyte Kingston RAM, and that is never going to focus. Temporarily, I'm also using a 1 gig MSI GeForce 4500. You can see by some of the dust, this is an older model. It is soon going to be put into a friend's computer as soon as I receive my new card, but it's a great card. It does the job, plays Battlefield at 60 frames a second on high to medium settings. It's a really good card for an amateur to beginner computer gamer. It is on the cheaper end, but it works for me. The biggest upgrade I am making is sadly one of the smallest and lightest parts, and that is my 120 gig solid state drive from Corsair. This will extremely boost my boot speeds and hopefully affect the speeds of my Minecraft server and the power and speed behind it and load times. On my discs for Windows 7 Ultimate Edition, we have an adapter for the video card to go from DVI to HDMI. Can run multiple monitors. We have the motherboard I have chosen, which is the Sabertooth 990FX from Asus. And here's the board itself. It's a really awesome motherboard. I really like the black and gold theme. And you can't see it because it's still attached to its stock heatsink. But on the bottom there we have an 8-core AMD FX 8120. It's an 8-core processor. Runs at about $150, but it's capable of plenty of overclocking. Add a little bit of water cooling instead of the stock radiator, and you can overclock it up to almost 4 gigahertz of 8-core processing power. Really powerful. Not quite what the high-end i7s will put out, but for the bang for the buck, this is the best processor to go with. All the links for these parts will be in the description, and I'm going to go ahead and cut and start putting in the motherboard is the first step I'll do. I already have the power supply, so what I'll do is I'll place in the motherboard and start wiring things up, and I'll cut back before I add accessories. See you guys in a minute. Alright guys, as soon as I stopped recording, I realized two things. One, I should have just shown you the box for the processor, and it is the 8320 8-core AMD running at 3.5 gigahertz, if that ever focuses. 3.5 gigahertz stock frequency. Again, it is sitting here attached. I do not want to pry it off there because it is attached well. When I go to install it, I will actually pry it off and put it onto the motherboard. Now, I had a mini heart attack because I was looking through my case and looking for where are the screws. Because while I had a couple screws on the old motherboard, I need a lot more screws to hold this much larger motherboard in my full tower case. And I was like, where are the screws? So I checked the motherboard box and there was nothing in there. I checked the box for the case and there was nothing in there. And I started to freak out. But first rule always applies. Google it. So I Googled it and I found out something really cool about this case that I never knew. It has in here a secret compartment. And behind that little panel is a drawer. When you pull this drawer out and open it, if I can do so without spilling everything, it's got all the screws and all the little extra accessories you would ever need. So I thought that was interesting. It's the one minor annoyance that I had with this case. I love it. I'm not complaining. I do enjoy that little feature. It's cool. But it scared me. So I'm going to go ahead and cut again. I'll get back when this motherboard is in there. Alright guys, a quick note here. Got the heatsink and processor attached. Always make sure that you're doing that right and looking up instructions if you're not sure. Also, every motherboard is different, but with me having only 2 slots of RAM, this motherboard's instructions actually call for it to be used in the 2nd and 4th slot. So that's how I have it in here. I have my 8 gigs in the 2nd slot and my 2 gigs in the 4th slot. So I have a total of 10 gigs of RAM. If you're wondering, for those of you who aren't familiar with building computers, why this one RAM is so much bigger than the other, it's not have anything to do with the size. This is a normal stick of Kingston 2 gig RAM. This is a Corsair Vengeance, which is a normal piece of RAM with a big plastic heat shield on it. Actually, it may be aluminum. I retract that statement. It is aluminum. An aluminum heatsink over it. What that does is allows this RAM to stay cooler, work harder, work higher voltage, and higher speeds. Alright, I will cut back when we have something else to show. Alright guys, welcome back. It's been quite a while for me. It's been like a good 2 hours. But what we have accomplished is we got the motherboard all bolted in, all the wiring is in place, the video card back, power supply routed, DVG drive installed, toolkit drive put back in, 3 hard drives all running, my solid state 120 gig, and an 80 gig backup, and a 3 terabyte media drive. Okay, now that all those are installed, I'm going to go ahead and put the side panels back on, and then we'll plug it in and start installing Windows. Alright guys, first time starting it on. Managed to power on first try. Awesome feeling. And we're already in the BIOS setup menu. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to tweak the settings a little bit, because right now, looks like it's set for balanced. Here we'd be having energy savings and quiet. And then we go straight to performance. I don't care about noise. I don't care about energy. So we're going to go straight out performance. So we're going to leave it at that for now. And I'm going to go ahead and get the Windows installing. I'm going to do more tutorials in the future about how to do each step. But for right now, I just wanted to get to the basics. When you get to this point, you're doing the right thing. Alright guys, well I got a second while it's loading up the Windows files. Let's go ahead and go a little quick tutorial on my keyboard and mouse setup. What we have here is the Logitech G510 with my monster sticker, because all my electronics have monster stickers. It's a full mechanical keyboard with 18 macro keys over here on the side. It's fully lit up keyboard. I cut the light here. Get the good idea here. Fully lit up. Different color combinations. Nothing saved right now because it's a brand new computer install. Also have to have the full number key. It has a really nice volume wheel. You roll this wheel back and forth to control the volume. Your media keys. Also has a headphone and microphone jack right here on the back. No USB ports. A light dimmer. The only thing I think that this keyboard is missing is a full color display. It does have an LCD display, but it reminds me of a Game Boy screen, a very pixelated screen. I wish it had USB ports on the keyboard. I wish it was a higher resolution screen. But other than that, it's a really great keyboard for under 100 bucks. Next to that, we have the Razer Naga. It's one of Razer's premier mice. It is a wired mouse, which is what I prefer. Green is the only color this one. Light. It only has one color. You can order them in red, blue, or green. I chose green. I happen to really like this mouse for the 12 number keys on the side that can be programmed for any key. But for your Battlefield, for your Star Wars The Old Republic, your number keys are part of your attacks. This makes it really easy to do one-handed attacks. Well, guys. Oh, and then other than that, I've got a 32-inch LG TV as my computer monitor. I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera now and continue to install Windows. Anyone who does fresh Windows installs frequently on their computer or on multiple computers will tell you that the biggest annoyance is the updating. I've been sitting here for about an hour through a series of updates. This is like Series 3, and this one's out of 87. Just updates after updates after updates this computer has to go through because it's as if it's putting Windows 7 on that when it was originally released. So we have Service Pack 1. I think there is Service Pack 2, amongst other updates. So we get our graphics card updated, the motherboard updated, keyboard software out, the mouse software. Just have to install everything one at a time. And this is the biggest reason why working on computers does take a good chunk of time. Well, guys, it's the wee hours of the morning. It's 8:14 a.m. It's been a several hour project, but the computer is finally updated and set up the way I want. Running on both monitors so I can put up anything on the TV and watch it as I please. Light and fan controls are working in the case. Computer's running quickly. Internet is quick and usable. Seems like I'm in a good place now. Well, it's been a long project. This is PaunaeHD. If you guys have any questions or any issues with any specific details, maybe something I skipped over and you guys want to know more about it, just let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to hit you up. Otherwise, I'll see you next time with maybe some Call of Duty or possibly some Battlefield later today. You guys have a good time. Later.